In the heart of Mississippi's coastal town of Pascagoula, an unsettling tale unfolded in 1987. A local barber was found brutally murdered in his shop, but it wasn't just the crime itself that shocked the community. It was the bizarre twist at the end. No one had actually seen the murder happen, nor could anyone find the killer. As days turned into weeks, the case grew colder. But just when all hope seemed lost, a suspect emerged from the shadows. And what followed was an investigation more perplexing than the murder itself. Welcome to my channel. And today, let's delve into the perplexing case of the Phantom Barber of Pascagoula. It was November 1987 when Earl Jeter, a respected African-American barber with a warm smile and an even warmer heart, was found lifeless in his shop, his body bearing the marks of a savage beating. The news reverberated through Pascagoula. Everyone was stunned. Earl was not just a barber, he was a pillar of the community. His barbershop wasn't just a place for haircuts, it was a hub where locals gathered to swap stories over a fresh cut and a cup of coffee. So when the police arrived at the scene, they were met with a community desperate for answers. As they combed through the crime scene, a few things stood out. There were no signs of forced entry, which meant Earl had probably known his attacker. His wallet and car keys were missing, suggesting a robbery gone wrong. But there was something else. Something the police couldn't ignore. A single muddy shoe print right in the middle of the crime scene. But here's the odd part. They couldn't match it to any shoes. It was a size and a half. Too big for even the largest men's shoes. This wasn't just a mystery, it was becoming a puzzle with missing pieces. The investigation began, but as days turned into weeks, it seemed to be going nowhere. Witnesses were interviewed, alibis were checked, and theories abounded, but nothing concrete emerged. The police were baffled. Even stranger was the fact that the barber's family refused to believe that he had been robbed. You see, Earl was known to keep a substantial amount of cash in his shop, a habit that had been born out of a deep-rooted distrust in banks after years of being turned away by several banks who didn't want to accept his small business as a legitimate customer. His determination to save eventually paid off. He saved enough money to open his own barbershop. But now that money was gone, vanished along with the killer. But while the police were focused on the robbery angle, the family believed that Earl would never let anyone walk away with his money without a fight. This meant only one thing. The killer must have been someone Earl knew, someone he trusted. But who could have wanted him dead and why? Was this a case of mistaken identity, or was there a darker secret lurking beneath the surface of this close-knit community? The questions swirled around Pascagoula like the humid Mississippi air, but the answers remained elusive. Then came the lead that brought a glimmer of hope into the murky waters of the case. A woman named Rita McKenzie contacted the police. She claimed she had information about the murder. In her statement, she told the police that she had been at the Blue Parrot Lounge on the night of the murder and had seen two men leaving the establishment around the time of the murder. Importantly, these two men matched the description given by the witnesses who had spotted two strange men in the area around the time of the murder. These new details gave the police a fresh lead, and they began searching for the two men. But here's where the story takes a turn that will leave you questioning everything. After an extensive search, the police managed to locate one of the men. They questioned him, but much to their surprise, he provided a solid alibi, placing him far away from Pascagoula during the time of the murder. This meant the police were back at square one. All their efforts, all their hopes pinned on this lead, had seemingly come to nothing. Just when it seemed like the case was going to go cold again, a breakthrough came. In another surprising turn of events, the second man they were looking for, a Mr. George Wagner, confessed to the murder. This was a moment the community had been waiting for, a semblance of justice on the horizon. But as is often the case, the truth can be more complex than a simple confession. George Wagner's confession was riddled with inconsistencies. He claimed that he had acted alone, killing Earl during a botched robbery. Yet the police were skeptical. The crime scene, the missing pieces of evidence, it all pointed towards a more intricate plot than George had let on. Despite the doubts, he was arrested and charged with the murder. Now, many might assume that with a confession, the case was closed. But in reality, it was just beginning to get complicated. See, the police needed solid evidence to secure a conviction. They had a confession, sure, but they needed more. As they dug deeper, they uncovered more inconsistencies in George's story. It seemed he was hiding something. The police, now more convinced than ever that there was more to the case than met the eye, decided to keep digging. They re-examined the evidence, the testimony, everything. And what they uncovered was a tale of deceit, hidden motives, and unexpected twists. But here's the most shocking part. Despite the mounting evidence against him, George Wagner refused to cooperate. He was adamant that he acted alone, even though the physical evidence clearly pointed towards a conspiracy. This wasn't just a murder. It was a web of lies, hidden identities, and unexpected connections. The story took another dramatic turn when DNA testing of the muddy shoe print at the crime scene revealed a shocking truth. The print didn't belong to George Wagner. He wasn't the only person who had been there that day. But if he wasn't the killer, then who was? With this new evidence, the police were back at square one again. The case was reopened, and once again, Pascagoula buzzed with theories and whispers. Who could have killed Earl and why? But as the months passed, the case went from bad to worse. Witnesses started to recant their statements. Memories failed them. And before long, it seemed as if the killer had gotten away with murder. The community was in shock. How could this have happened? Why did the witnesses change their stories? And who really was responsible for Earl's death? Their questions echoed through Pascagoula, but there were no easy answers. Then, as if out of nowhere, another witness came forward. This time, it was a teenager who claimed to have seen a car speeding away from the scene of the crime. He described the car and the direction it took, giving the police a possible lead. But when the police traced the car to its owner, they got more than they bargained for. The car had been rented by none other than George Wagner's brother-in-law. Could this be a break in the case? Was this man behind the wheel that fateful day? The police questioned him, but he, too, had a solid alibi, backed by receipts and credit card statements. This wasn't just a coincidence. Someone in this town was protecting the killer. But why? What were they so determined to keep the truth hidden? And so the case of the Phantom Barber of Pascagoula remains unsolved to this day. Earl Jeter's murder continues to be a haunting reminder of a killer who has yet to be brought to justice. The secrets buried in the heart of Pascagoula are yet to be unearthed. In the quiet of the night, when the wind whispers through Pascagoula, the story of the Phantom Barber echoes. A tale of a community torn apart by a crime that not only shook its foundation, but also exposed the dark underbelly of secrets and lies that can fester even in the most unsuspecting places. In the end, the case of the Phantom Barber wasn't just about a brutal murder. It was about the unraveling of a community. It was about the erosion of trust, the fallibility of memories, and the chilling realization that sometimes the truth is the most perplexing mystery of all. What do you think? What is your theory about the Phantom Barber? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more intriguing cases. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay safe.